Yeah, good evening. It's Jim from JAGfx.com. It is Tuesday, the 17th of March, 2020. It's much later than I normally do a video. It's actually about 8:45 p.m. local here in Vietnam. This is on the 12-hour charts, 12-hour high probability charts. Normally the new candle for the 12-hour charts for me is 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. local. I did do a video earlier and it didn't upload through TradingView for some reason, so I thought I might as well do another one now. I've got some free time where I'll run through all the pairs just to let you know where I'm at on the 12-hour charts. Now, keep in mind you can check all the results on my shared spreadsheet, there's a link to that. It's a Google sheet. The link to that can be found in the description of the video, so you're more than welcome to check that out. Everyone, if you've been watching me for a while, you know my rules with regards to trading, so we'll run through it. So here's my 12-hour charts on TradingView. Here's my watch list. Basically, the blue ones is every pair I've got to trade on. Ignore the pound USD. I'm just watching that for something else. And so blue means trade on. Orange means I've done something recently. So let's have a look at it. We'll just go through all the pairs so we know where we're at. AusCAD in a sell up here, and always write notes on all my charts, so feel free to pause the video or slow it down, read my notes, normally in chronological order, the pair, what I've done, sometimes the reason as to why, trade management, and my profit to date, which is the profit I've made since I've started trading this method, and that's all based on a 0.02 base lot, so it's a very small position size. So when you see red, this is a sell, that'll be red lines vertical, the dashed, and a full-bodied horizontal red lines. That's the intersection there. So the sell's taken on the red dot of the QMP filter, which is these red and green dots on the price charts. They don't repaint. They only present once the candle closes and the signal's been confirmed. So you take, like on this example here, if you were to take a buy, it'd be in the open of the next candle. This is the MACD platinum down here. Generally, I'm looking to take buys when it's below the zero level, which is the dashed line, and take sells when it's above the zero level. So I've taken a sell here. This is the AusCAD. It's gone down nicely. When the MACD platinum goes through the zero level, I tend to close out half, bring a stop in, then just trail the stop. The stop is the red dashed line. So that's AusCAD. Nice and simple, straightforward, winning trade, going well, locked in profit, can't lose. Aus-Swiss. Now, this is something I did something today. I've already changed it all. Normally, I leave the lines on, which I did on the previous video. If you see trend lines like this, red ones mean I'm looking at bearish divergence. Generally, a blue trend line or aqua blue trend line means I'm just looking at something that interests me. So I'll delete that. Now, what I did here was I was in a sell up here on this vertical line. It came down. I closed out half my trade. I put a stop in place, and the stop was above here somewhere. Then a new sequence started. So I trade multiple sequences, and I took a buy trade here. It's a high-risk trade against the trend, but because I had a sell on, I was no problems. Then I took a hedge sell here, which is for a bigger position. Now, what I've done is the overall break-even for all three trades was in this area here somewhere. So because the moving averages, which are the 50, the 100, and the 240, since they're spreading and heading down, I really don't want to take too much risk on this sort of trade. So I closed out what was remaining on the sell. I closed out that buy, and I took a partial sell close on that sell trade, then put a stop in place below my entry. That did give me a whopping profit of $6.24 in total, but the good thing is it locks in a remaining sell trade with a stop in place, so I can't lose. So that's what happened on the Aus-Swiss. Aus-New Zealand. Every now and then you'll see a line that's marked a little bit differently. In this case, it's a green horizontal line. Look to the right, see the number, nearly at parity, 1.0000, which basically means for every one Aussie dollar equals one New Zealand dollar. That doesn't happen. that much. I don't think it's ever happened. Not even sure without checking the charts. So this is fairly rare. So I'm going to sell on the Aussie up here, Aussie New Zealand. I've already sold half. This thing's going down. I haven't moved my stop yet. It's still above the entry level. When I get a green dot on the MACD Platinum below the 0 level, or I think when it hits that one, the parity, I'll probably drag my stop down. So it's all good at the moment. Aussie USD, we have another green line. This one, 60 cents against the USD. Hasn't been down there for a long time. That's that's dropped off like off a cliff. I sold up here, got a stop in place, same deal as Aussie New Zealand, looking for some signal on the MACD Platinum before I move this stop down. I've only got 0.01 to play with, so I haven't got that much. CAD Swiss, been a bit of a problem child for me. Yeah, it gets a little bit tricky. Pause the video, read my notes. This sell up here, and these sells, they're a little bit out of whack because all these trades used to be on MT4, and I've brought them across the trading view, so sometimes the signal's a little bit out, but generally they're pretty good on the 12 hours. It's a daily chart more the case, but so here was a sell up here, so I'm on two sequences. So there's your first sequence, the sell up here, which was a part of another sequence, which I've already worked my way out of. It's a bit hard to see the notes there, but there's a couple of dollars profit, not much, nothing to get excited about. As I said, pause the video, read my notes. Then I've started a new sequence here. See, this is MACD Platinum's below the 0 level, so I've taken a buy, I've taken a hedge sell, taken a second buy. So that's buy, hedge sell, second buy. Overall break even for that sequence only is this level 69063, which is this line up here, which you got close to but didn't actually push through. And overall break even for all trades is this bottom line here. So the overall break even 68069. So and that's positive. So as long as price gets above that bottom yellow line, I close all trades. I'll be able to break even or in profit. Not looking too bad. So it's been a bit of a tough pair to trade, even on the daily charts for me. Euro Oz, took a sell here, took a hedge buy, so I'm locking in a loss, and it's just going up. The MAs are spreading. Made a few dollars on this pair. At the moment, I'm just waiting for a sell signal. MACD still above the 0 level. Price is a long way from MAs. You'd expect some sort of pullback, but have a look at this. All this sideways stuff, then bang, market's all moving. Euro CAD, I'm not sure. It's very similar. Oh, here we go. We took up in a buy back here. So buys are the blue lines. So it was on this sequence here. I've got a stop in place for this buy up here. So that buy is an independent trade. Then I've started a new sequence. You can read. I've got the sell, the hedge buy, the second sell. My overall break-evens, which are powered through quickly, this top yellow line, 154719, so you can read it. But then it's bounced straight back up. Blue trend line just means something I'm looking at. In this case, it's like a possible double top or a resistance level, but double top, I'd say. Meanwhile, the MACD Platinum's still heading down, so you could make an argument for divergence. Ideally, I want this thing to head down. So it's the Euro CAD, not looking too bad. Right, moving right along. Euro Swiss in a sell here. I've just closed. You can read it. Move my stop down. It's not a fast move of this pair. It's probably going to be getting replaced with another pair. I just don't like it. Got a buy signal here about a day or so ago. I did a video and I said I didn't take it. Just not a great setup. The trend's down. You can see the MA's heading down. So it's a high risk move to take that. So we're in a sell, can't lose. Euro pound. Now, what have we got here? Got a sell buy, hedge buy. Took a second sell in here. You'd think that would be an easy one to recover. And it's gone against me straight away. So it's gone on the moon. So I took a second hedge buy. So at the moment, overall break in, NA as hedged. So not making any money. Looking for a sell red trend lines are drawn in for looking for potential bearish divergence. Still has to be confirmed, not confirmed as yet until I get a red QMP dot. Now the QMP filter dots, as I call them, they're just made up of a MACD platinum and a QQE advance, which is an indicator you don't see on the charts. I don't need to see it displayed. So it's basically a crossover on the QQE and a new dot on the MACD platinum. Once they're in sync, it's just more of a visual aid, the QMP filter. QMP stands for Q for QQE and MP for MACD platinum. So it's just a combination of those two. So at the moment, looking for a sell to bring this down. Euro yen, I think this is one of my problem pairs because the yen pairs are all over the place. Took a buy, took a hedge sell, took a second buy. You can see, read my notes. There's my overall break even up there. This thing's gone up and just turned around again. It's very, look, you look at the moves, this thing before coronavirus, all nice and sweet. As soon as the stock market's going to meltdown, which is all this area in here, the yen is susceptible to a lot of strange moves. It's 1 minute it's a safe currency, next minute it's no longer needed as a safe currency, depending on what the stock market's on. Hence this absolute dog's breakfast on the euro yen. Euro USD in a sell up here. Actually got this buy down here too, which is great. Now I'm taking the sell, which is kind of right too. Again, trend lines are drawn in. MACD's through the zero level. I've closed half my trade, stop in place, waiting for a blue dot on the green dot on the MACD platinum before I move my stop. New Zealand CAD in a sell up here, already closed half, stop in place. It was actually a multiple setup of trades. I had a sell on in here, and a hedge buy, and that was a second sell. So I've already closed that sell, the hedge buy, and a partial close on that. And that means I've still got 0.02 left on that. I probably should have closed another 0.01 on that recently when it went through the zero level. When I say through the zero level on the MACD platinum, as soon as that goes through there, I'm looking to take some action on trade. So that's something I'll have a look at in the morning. New Zealand Swiss. Now this is very messy. This is where you got to pause the video. At 4 o'clock this afternoon, I took two new trades. It was the fifth buy on the first sequence, 57298, and the third buy on the third sequence at 57292, which is in here. The second sequence, which is on this settle, I don't need to worry about hedging or anything because it's just a standalone trade now with a stop in place there. So that's a sell there, that's a stop there. The first sequence is every trade from the left to the right. The third sequence is from this buy. So just look at where it starts. On the MACD platinum, this is below the zero level. So that's my first sequence. It went above the zero level. I did start my second sequence in there. And this is a continuation of the first sequence also. But then there's my third trade on the second sequence, and it got me in the good profit. So I closed out these first two on the second sequence. This sounds as confusing as hell. I understand that. Watch enough of these videos, you'll soon get what I'm talking about. So I'm looking at a couple of different scenarios. All these three yellow lines are my break-even levels. So one's for the first sequence only. One is for the third sequence only. And the third one, which I think is the middle one, 58379. If price gets up to that middle one, I close all the trades, break even, other than swap. So it's not too bad. But I know it's very confusing. There's a lot of trades happening there. At the end of the day, I'm only plus 0.35 net long. So it's not horrendous. It looks like I'm busy, and I am busy. But my margin's really not been tested or anything like that. Ideally, I need this thing to eventually, the MACD platinum's below the zero level. I need this New Zealand Swiss to head up. If it just went suddenly banged up into this area here, then it's just a matter of doing some trade management. And even if it got up to the MAs, I'd just get out of everything. Right, New Zealand USD. We got 14 minutes, just watch the time. Again, we've got this green line because the Aussie and New Zealand are nearly parity. Obviously, the New Zealand dollar's at 60.60. This must be my break-even level down here. I'm in a couple of sequences here. It's a bit hard to see. I'll just try and move the lines around a bit so you can, it's a pain sometimes. So, all right, there we go. So, sell, second sequence, where is it? Must be up here. Up here. I've taken, this is a sequence from left to right. So buy, hedge, sell, second buy, second hedge, sell, third buy, and a third hedge, sell. So the first sequence is hedge. So that's all these trades. Second sequence, I'm thinking is that 63118. So it's the same as the in here. So this is a new sequence here, and that's got full position size. I probably should have closed half of that. I'm not sure why I haven't. Overall break even, because that first one's hedged, that's minus 0.02. So my overall break even is at 58, which is actually getting close, which is surprising considering I've got all these other trades in. But I probably should close half of this second sequence and bring a stop in place, which will move this overall break even down a bit further, but not too bad at the moment. New Zealand, USD Swiss franc in a buy. You can see in the entry here, gone through the MACD. Now we're going into the MAs, close half, stop in place, no trouble. USD Japanese yen, same sort of scenario. Took a buy in here, went against me, pulled up nicely, gone up into here. Through the MACD platinum's gone through the zero level, closed half, put a stop in place. Just waiting for some further action on the MACD platinum, where it look bring my stop up underneath this low here or something like that. Made a few dollars on the yen, which is good. So that's it, guys, for the video. It's probably dragged on a little bit. This is a 16-minute one. It's all the pairs just to show where I'm at on the 12-hour charts. If you do like these videos, please hit the subscribe button, or nothing else, just at least hit the like button. Hopefully this one will upload to YouTube. Thanks very much. Cheers.